everybody, and welcome to Boxy Banter. I'm your host, Billy Ballas, and joining me back on the program is the multi-talented, biggest rock star in the South Bay, longtime baseball player and coach, Terry Dewan. Terry, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Billy.
Yeah, of course. And, last week you were here. We discussed our predictions for this out-of-the-park baseball simulation that we've been doing with all the rosters that I've made, these quarter-century rosters. And today we can check up on how our predictions are doing. So you interested in looking at that?
Of course.
And I've simulated it here to the All-Star break. And so this program, it's got the All-Star game, and it spits out All-Star rosters, and, it even simulates the game. So, before we take a look at the standings, I think we can take a look at who made the All-Star teams. That sound interesting?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So if we look at the lineups, it even gives us, a lineup for the game before the game even starts. We'll look at the AL lineup first. Leading off at first base, we've got Jeff Bagwell from Houston, which is interesting that he's in the AL lineup because I don't think he ever played in the AL with Houston. I think they were still in the National League when he was on their roster.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, came up with Boston, got traded, right?
That's
but
right,
I don't think he ever played for Boston, right? I think he was a Double-A guy or something.
Yeah, sounds right. At second in the lineup in right field, we've got Mookie Betts from Boston. He was an MVP winner that year. Batting third behind the dish, Joe Mauer with the Twins. Batting cleanup at DH, Nomar from the Red Sox. Then batting fifth at shortstop with Houston, Carlos Correa. Batting sixth at second base, Ben Zobrist with the Rays. Batting seventh, Steve Pearce in left field with Baltimore. Batting eighth at third base, we've got Adrian Beltre. That was him with the Red Sox. And batting ninth in center field, Aaron Rowan with the White Sox. And starting on the hill, the big unit, Randy Johnson. This was when he was with Seattle. So, I mean, any kind of surprises looking at that AL roster?
Yeah, Steve Pearce jumps out to me. That's a little surprising. I had Steve Pearce in my memory as just kind of like a corner guy, like mashes lefties type of a first baseman, left field kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then when I think of Aaron Rowan, I think of the Phillies Aaron Rowan. I don't necessarily associate him with the White Sox.
Right.
But yeah, those two jumped out at me a little bit.
I agree. Those ones were surprising as well. Zobrist maybe a little bit as well. You'd think that. I mean, he was that Swiss Army knife type of guy. I think that I would have to look at all the second basemen in the American League, but I would think that somebody would have a better year. But I think also they follow the rules. Everyone's got to have somebody represented. So every team.
That's true. And Zobrist was sneaky. He was like the analytics guy's favorite guy there for maybe a 3 to 5 year period.
Yeah. And then over in the National League, the starting lineup, leading off in left field, we've got Ronald Acuna with Atlanta. Batting second at second base, Jeff Kent with the Giants. Batting third, Ketel Marte in center. That's with the Diamondbacks. Batting cleanup behind the dish, Buster Posey with the Giants. Batting fifth in right field, Sammy Sosa with the Cubs. Batting sixth at first base, Cody Bellinger. In the 7 hole, we've got Scott Rowland playing third with the Cards. Jimmy Rollins batting eighth at shortstop with the Phils. And then at DH, batting ninth, Joey Votto with the Reds. And on the mound, Greg Maddux, pitcher from Atlanta. So, I mean, it's a lot of guys that I think I would expect here. Anybody stick out here?
Well, Ketel Marte sticks out to me. I mean, he's in the 3 hole. I mean, because a lot of the other guys you would assume would make the team, but he's hitting in the 3 hole, huh?
Yeah, he had that monster year there for Arizona.
Was that 18 or 19?
I want to say it was 19.
I think you're right.
I think he was like banged up, I think. So, but yeah, I mean, in the simulation at the break, he's hitting 359, 12 bombs. Yeah. 43 driven in, 990 OPS. So there you have it. And then the bench. Let's take a look at the benches of the teams. In the American League, we've got Pudge, backup catcher, although it's the Detroit Tiger version of Pudge. Jason Varitek with the Red Sox. At first base, we've got Mike Sweeney with the Royals. At third base, we got Josh Donaldson. That's the Blue Jay version of Josh Donaldson. And then A-Rod at third. That's the Yankee version of A-Rod. We got Marcus Semien with the A's at short. In the outfield, we've got Albert Bell with the Indians, Lance Berkman with the Astros, Alex Gordon with the Royals, Jacoby Ellsbury with the Red Sox, and Aaron Judge with the Yankees. Any other more surprising names here?
Ellsbury's a little surprising just because I think it's clouded by his most recent kind of Yankees tenure, but I forget that guy had a really nice Oregon State career, and then into Boston he was a centerpiece on the 07 team, I think.
Yeah, Pudge is a bit of a surprise for me, not necessarily that he's here, but that is with the Tigers and not the Rangers. I thought the Ranger version was far superior.
Even the Marlins version was far superior.
Yeah. And then the pitching staff for the American League, we've got Roger Clemens, that's with the Blue Jays, Chuck Finley with the Angels, Randy Johnson with the Mariners, who we mentioned is starting the game, Cliff Lee with the Indians, Derek Lowe and Pedro Martinez, both with the Red Sox, Mussina with the Yankees, Pettit with the Yankees, Garrett Richards with the Angels, Max Scherzer with the Tigers, Shigetoshi Hasegawa with the Mariners, Chris Perez with the Indians, David Robertson, and Joaquim Soria, both with the White Sox. So, what about pitchers? Any surprising names?
Getting Shiggy with it.
That
was one that kind of jumps out that he must have just got off to a hot start,
Yeah.
What about you? Which one?
That one, maybe Chuck Finley a little bit. I mean, he was solid with the Angels.
Finley was like the permanent number 2 starter type, right?
Mm-hmm. Just always kind of had that ho-hum look on his face.
Right.
I mean, Scherzer, I think this was, not his best years, with the Tigers. I think he won the Cy Young the prior year that I got him on this year. No Mariano. Bit of a surprise. But so that's who we've got. Then the NL. Let's take a look at the NL bench. Behind the dish, we've got Brian McCann with Atlanta, Jason Kendall, Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Todd Helton at first base with the Rockies, Mark Loretta with the Padres at second, Chipper Jones at third with the Braves. Trevor Story at short with the Rockies. In the outfield, we've got Matt Holliday and Ellis Burks, both with the Rockies. Brian Giles with the Padres. Then on the mound, before we get to the pitching staff, I guess any of these names, anybody pop out?
No, not really.
Maybe Loretta a little bit.
Well, yeah, but I feel like Loretta, all those kind of right-handed hitting second basemen all kind of bunch up for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Loretta probably was capable of having a pretty decent year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, then on to the pitching staff. We've got Jake Arrieta with the Cubs, Kevin Brown with the Padres.
Okay.
DeGrom.
Yeah.
Glavine with the Braves, Greinke with the Dodgers, Roy Halladay with the Phils, Josh Johnson with the Marlins,
Mm-hmm.
Tim Lincecum, Greg Maddux with the Braves, Pedro, that was back when he was with the Expos.
He's a great staff.
So that's he's on the Nationals organization, but he's with the Expos that year. John Smoltz, Ramon Martinez with the Dodgers. So then Jeff Shaw with the Reds, Sean Burnett with the Nats, Josh Hader with the Brewers, and Craig Kimbrell with the Braves.
Yeah, Sean Burnett, I'm not sure he fits in that group. That's like Sesame Street. Which of these does not belong together? No offense to Sean Burnett, of course, a big leaguer, and he's an all-star. But, there was another one on there that I was like,
Josh Johnson?
Yeah, no, Josh Johnson was, for a hot minute was good.
He was.
For those Marlins teams,
Right.
he was good.
Then he had arm trouble.
Yeah.
And faded off.
Yeah, but he was good.
I think the others are all pretty up there. Ramon Martinez was the one that kind of popped out to me.
Okay.
Surprised at how he was used in the simulation and that he made the All-Star game. Because this was kind of post-peak Ramon Martinez.
Okay, see, because, as a kid who grows up in L.A. and goes to Dodger games Ramon Martinez was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was there when he threw his no-hitter.
Okay, yeah. So I have my memory of Ramon Martinez was lanky and really durable and good.
Yeah, no, he was great. But I think just by this point, the other names I think everyone is kind of pretty much.
Yeah, I think we're okay with
the
best pitchers.
So I mean, based on who's on these rosters, it kind of. Before we look at the standings, it could kind of give us a little bit of an indication, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like we've got, if we look at the AL, we've got Betts, we've got Nomar, we've got Beltre, all from Boston. We've got Derek Lowe, Ellsbury is there. Pedro and Lowe in the pitching staff, so a lot of Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Judge, Mussina, Pettit with the Yankees.
Okay.
I see a few Padres. We got Kevin Brown, Brian Giles, Mark Loretta. Holiday Burks, big years for the Rockies. Trevor Story's on there. Dodgers are represented with Bellinger, with Greinke, with Ramon Martinez. So we'll see. I'm eager to look at how the standings are going, but we've got the All-Star game was simulated, so you want to take a look at how the actual All-Star game went?
Yeah, let's see.
So it's kind of funny. Well, I'll get to the MVP at the end. I guess it was a pitching duel.
Okay.
It was scoreless into the 8th inning.
Oh.
And in the 8th inning, we had one of the catchers off the bench came in, delivered a 2-run double. Our man, Jason Kendall.
All right.
So Jason Kendall with a 2-run double there in the top of the 8th inning. That was off of Chuck Finley.
Okay.
It scored Matt Holliday and Joey Votto. So Kendall was 1 for 2 off the bench there with the 2-run double. And to give the National League a 2-0 win, Josh Johnson was the winning pitcher. Hader got the hold, and Kimbrel got the save with a perfect 9th and 2 strikeouts. Not a lot of strikeouts from National League pitchers. American League pitchers, Randy Johnson struck out 2 in a perfect inning. Pedro struck out the side, although he did give up a hit. But, I mean, I think that's pretty fitting for Pedro, striking out 3 batters in an All-Star game.
Yeah.
Lee had a couple of strikeouts, Cliff Lee. But, yeah, the National League got the win. But the MVP of the All-Star game, you ready for this one?
Let's hear it.
Steve Pearce.
Oh, are you kidding me?
He goes 3 for 3 in the All-Star game. So... I guess he
can't predict baseball.
He got fired up. I think you gave him some bulletin board material.
Yeah, I think so. He had a picture of me on his locker with a dart through it. Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. I mean, he can add the out of the park All-Star Game simulation MVP to his mantle, along with that World Series MVP in 2018.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's the All-Star Game, and then we can look at the standings for where we are currently at the All-Star break in this simulation. You ready to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll take a look at those standings coming right up. So at the All-Star break, we just went at the game. So now, Terry, you ready to take a look at the standings at the break to see how we are doing on our predictions?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so I guess we started in the National League when we made our predictions, and we said Braves, Phillies, Mets, Nats, Marlins. At the break, the simulation has got we've got the league leader, the Atlanta Braves. Then we've got they've got a huge lead, 70-22. They've got like a 20-game lead over the Mets. The Mets and the Phillies are neck and neck. The Mets and the Nationals are neck and neck, followed by the Phillies and the Marlins. So we got the top and the bottom. The Phillies are a few games behind the Mets and the Nationals.
Okay.
So it could still go.
Yeah, a lot of game left.
Anyway, but it looks like the Braves got the top spot locked up, and the Marlins
run away with it. Yeah.
The Marlins have the bottom spot locked up. In the Central, so we were pretty confident with the Cards. The Cardinals are 9.5 games back behind the Cubs.
Whoa.
I think did you have the Brewers second and the Cubs third?
Yeah.
And I had the Cubs second and the Brewers third. So it goes Cubs 9.5 ahead of the Cardinals, followed by the Brewers, followed by the Pirates, which you had at fourth, and then the Reds, who I had in fourth. So the Cubs are a bit of a surprise there. And then in the West, in the National League, we've got the Dodgers leading the division by 10 games.
Okay.
Not a surprise.
Right.
But the second place team is a surprise. San Diego Padres.
What?
Giants in third, couple games behind the Pods.
Okay.
Followed by the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. And we had Dodgers, Giants, Rockies, D-backs, Pods. So,
yeah.
We had the Giants, Rockies, D-backs to correct order, but the Pods, they slot in second here currently. So the wild card, we thought it was going to be, and we've still got time here, got the second half of the season. We had the Phillies and the Giants in the wild card. The current wild card standings, the Padres are a game and a half up on the Mets. The Mets, Nationals, Giants, and the Cardinals are all within a game for that second spot. So very close there. But yeah, some surprises for sure, right? I think Cubs leading the Central is a surprise. Padres in second in the West, huge surprise. The East, not too much of a surprise.
Yeah, Atlanta having 70 wins.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins.
That is a surprise, but the order not so much.
Sure.
But 70 wins is a lot.
I'm trying to think of how the Cubs are that high. But I guess a few of their guys are probably having big first halves.
Yeah, we can look at some stats coming up after we look through the rest of the division.
Sure.
So in the American League, where do you want to go? What division do you want to start?
East to West. Yeah.
Okay, so we had Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays, Orioles, Rays.
Okay.
How confident were you in that standing?
Fairly confident.
Right? Yeah. So Red Sox are, in fact, number one. Good job on us.
Yeah.
Blue Jays, 8 games back in second place.
Really?
Yeah. Which puts the Yankees in third. They're 46 and 44.
Oh,
Third place.
Steinbrenner's getting hot.
Rays in fourth place. Orioles in fifth. So our predictions have the Rays and Orioles flipped and the Jays and Yankees flipped.
Okay.
But, I mean, it makes sense. We saw all those Braves in the All-Star game. We saw all the Red Sox in the All-Star game. So, no surprise there.
No.
Central, we were confident with the Indians. Mm-hmm. Right? And the rest of it, we
had no clue.
No clue. So, Indians, first place.
Good.
Okay. So we got the Central. That's it. We got it correct, right?
Yeah.
Royals, second place.
Good for you. That was your instinct, and you didn't want to. Yeah, kind of talked you out of it, and
they are 43 and 48.
Yeah, so they're not good. So
White Sox, third place.
Okay.
Tigers, then Twins.
Twins in last place, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the West, so we said Mariners, Astros. And then you and I kind of had the Rangers and A's flip-flopped. And then we had the Angels in fifth. And the Angels had, no Trout in the All-Star game. Yet somehow, they're in first place.
Wow.
Although, however, this is also the tightest division.
Okay.
3 games separate first and fourth.
Wow.
So right behind the Angels are the Astros, followed by the Mariners. They're both a game back. And then the A's are in fourth, with the Rangers in fifth place.
Okay.
So the wild card standings, Blue Jays, and then the Astros and Mariners are tied for that second wild card spot. And then the Yankees and A's are also within 2 games of that second wild card spot. So, yeah, what's his biggest surprises in the National and the American League? What do you think?
I'm shocked the Twins are in last.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked the Yankees are in third.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm shocked the Angels are doing that well.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 that jump out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess, the Blue Jays, they've got Roger Clemens' great year. Maybe
Right.
carrying them a bit. And, the Yankees' lack of pitching might be biting them.
Sure.
Yeah, the Angels, that's a surprise. I'd have to look at the stats. Let's see if I can find let's see. Here we go. The statistics. So, all right, we've got some batting leaders. I'll just Ketel Marte hitting about 360. He's leading the majors. Nomar's at about 350. Beltre at 335. Jason Kendall, 319.
Of course. Probably leading the league in doses, too.
Yeah. Do we have hit by pitches here? Let's see. I don't see hit by pitches.
Yeah, it's Tim Rubigio anyways. We already know that.
28 bombs, Ellis Burks.
Ellis Burks.
Adrian Gonzalez, 28 bombs. Torrey Hunter with the Twins, 28 bombs. So he's in 28 bombs and they're in last place.
Yeah.
Beltre with the Red Sox has 27. Chipper Jones with 27.
Okay.
Bellinger 26. Joey Bats 25. So Joey Bats helping propel the Blue Jays into second place.
It's all those Twitter followers.
Curtis Granderson 76 driven in for the Tigers.
Good for Grandy.
Bell's driven in 75 for the Indians. Jeff Bagwell leading the majors with a 426 on base. Kendall 414. Doses. Frank Thomas 408. Mike Trout's got a 406. Ketel Marte 411. Freeman 412. Helton 413. Yeah, I'm not seeing bombs on any of these leaderboards. Beltre's slugging 654 to pace the league. Bellinger's leading the league in OPS with 1,026. Marte's got 124 hits, which leads the league, leads the majors. Ichiro, here's a name that we haven't mentioned yet. He's got 396 ABs. He's hitting 378. So he's not having a typical Ichiro year. WAR, Roland leading the league in WAR for position players with 5.2. Mookie Betts is worth 5. Beltre with the Red Sox 4.7. Chipper Jones, Marte, Bellinger, Valentin. So makes sense why a lot of these guys were all-stars. Bryce Harper's been walked 61 times, which is good for 4th in the league. Let's see. Bellinger's ISO is 321. Beltre's got 59 extra base hits. Bellinger's OPS plus 171. Surprised I haven't seen Piazza on these league leaders either.
There are a few names that I'm a little surprised that we haven't heard.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at the pitching leaders. So Maddox, Lincecum, Glavine, Arrieta, Brown, Halladay, and Clemens are your league leaders in ERA.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Herron's got 13 losses for the Diamondbacks. Jamie Moyer's lost 11. I think, does Jamie Moyer have the most losses in history? Did he pass Robin Roberts?
Oh, does he?
I don't know. career. I mean, he pitched until he was like 68 or something. I think he's still pitching somewhere.
Yeah, he and Bartolo are in the Mexican League.
Yeah. Well, they both have a lot of kids to feed, right?
That's right.
Jamie Moyer had like a lot of kids with his one wife.
Mm-hmm.
Bartolo, I don't know how many families he's got.
Sure.
League
leader.
Kenley Jansen has 26 saves. I'm surprised they're going to him and not Gagne to close out games.
Yeah, what do they do? Gagne runs in the 8th, and they play Welcome to the Jungle in the 8th?
Maybe
and then California Love in the 9th? Is that how we do it?
Maybe Gagne's a high leverage guy?
I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maddox, Kevin Brown, Greinke, Syndergaard actually showing up on these lists a lot.
Wow, leapfrogging DeGrom.
Yeah. Well, they were, let's see, Halliday's got 4 complete games.
Shocker.
So does Maddox. Bronson Arroyo, 3 complete games. Arroyo, all 3 shutouts. Halliday's got 3 shutouts. Maddox has 3 shutouts. Schilling leading the league in strikeouts. Pedro is 2nd and 3rd. Expo National Pedro is 2nd, and Boston Pedro is 3rd. Randy Johnson with the Diamondbacks is 4th in strikeouts. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot more great pitchers, because you get like just the 1 year and stuff. I think those stand out more. So these names are pretty
eclectic.
Well, they're guys who you expect. I think Kershaw's a bit of a surprise. I don't see Kershaw on any of these leaderboards.
Sure.
Gagne's got 13 holds. So he's
he's
like the 8th inning guy, I guess. Lincecum's got 19 quality starts.
Wow. In 1/2 of a season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much every time.
Every start.
Yeah, he's got 19 starts, and they're all quality starts. Yeah, Lincecum's a guy who was, dominant for
sure
3 or 4 years, and then he just kind of fell off there. But it was when his start.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about Lincecum on a future podcast.
That's that kind of swoop in with that Johan conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so that's where we are at the All-Star break. So if we go back to the standings, how confident now are you in some of our picks? The Cardinals are 9.5 back.
I'm confident in our picks. I think we got to let the season play out. 9.5 is a lot of ground to make up, but it is the Cubs. And Dodgers and Braves, NLCS. I'm feeling pretty good about that, aren't you?
Yeah, and they're both trending in that direction. So yeah, I think at the top of the National League, we're doing well. It's those middle picks that are. I think the National League as a whole, really. It's just the Padres was a surprise, and the Cubs lead in the Central.
Yeah. But
the rest of it, I think we did a pretty good job in our predictions. The American League. The West is really tight. It could go anybody's way. Because if you look at the other 5 divisions, the closest anybody is to first base are the Royals are 7.5 behind the Indians in the Central. The Rangers are in 5th place in the West, 7.5 back.
Really?
So by far the closest division at the All-Star break. The Yankees being in 3rd behind the Blue Jays.
Surprising, but there's time.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Red Sox leading the way in the American League. Pretty much what we expected. Would you change any picks right now? Or you're confident?
Can't do that. Yeah, you got to just ride with it. What's the point of making the picks?
You're not one of those guys who fills out like a ton of different brackets so that.
Oh no.
So that you're right in one of them and can claim that?
No, I hate those guys. I hate those guys like I hate the guys with multiple favorite teams and all that stuff. You got to stick to your guns here. You got to make a prediction and go for it.
Good. I like it. All right, so it was fun seeing the simulation. I've been talking about these teams for so long and finally seeing it play out. So I'm eager to see the rest of the season play out. You ready to come back next week to talk about that?
Absolutely. We can start talking about, the MVP Ketel Marte.
Yeah, we'll see if he continues that pace or if somebody else can take the crown from him, and who will win the division and who will be in the playoffs. So next week on the show, we'll be back and we will see who is in the playoffs. This is Billy Ballas of Box Seat Banter signing off.